So, how have you been?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you get your new microphone arm hooked up?
No, I sure did not.
No?
I'm doing a lot of panic cleaning because I'm hosting Thanksgiving
Really?
this year and I've been thinking about it. Of course, we've been planning it for a very long time, right? And I'm just now being like, "Oh, I'm hosting Thanksgiving this year."
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So then
calculated yesterday that we have 3 weeks. We have 3 weeks. We're okay.
yeah. So I'm like, "Okay." So I'm been kind of distracted with getting my kitchen organized. And I'm doing not just regular cleaning. I'm pulling everything out of the cabinets and throwing away expired food and reorganizing and, you know, just trying to make it so that when everyone's here, we know where everything is and, it'll still be a chaotic and wonderful,
Yeah.
but
I
that's how that'll
also
go.
agreed to host, and I did not just agree to host, but my niece, whose name is America,
Right on.
she's stationed at Fort Hood because she joined the Army, which
Nice.
is an hour away. So I said, "Hey, America, you got any friends who want to come for Thanksgiving?" And she said,
Oh.
"Okay, she's 18." Okay, she goes, "Yes, there's a whole bunch of kids that I take care of here, and I would love to bring them." I'm like, you're just so good. You take care of little kids. They're all the same age as you, but okay.
Right. I was like, oh my. Okay.
So we're going to have Gruntsgiving here.
Well, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Put those kids
Pretty
to
excited
work.
about it.
Make them do something. You
Yeah,
got a shed that needs painted or something. Make them do something.
Right. All of you, start washing the windows with newspaper immediately.
Yes.
Those windows, see those windows?
You see my baseboards? Dust them. Okay, do it. Yeah.
We did this once before. When one of our former lacrosse players was in the Navy, and he was stationed for a moment in San Antonio, and we did the same thing. When my husband drove down there and picked him and his friends up, and then we stuffed them silly, and then we sent all the leftovers home with them. And you'd have thought they were in heaven. They were the happiest kids.
Hey,
they just loved it. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how many I'm going to get. I also am getting my brother-in-law and his wife, and he is ex-Army. So
okay.
I also learned this morning he will be bringing a wild turkey. The animal, not the alcohol.
Oh. I was like, that sounds great. So wild as in alive? Or
No.
Okay, so already
I
butchered.
hunted it and killed it myself. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I bet that's going to taste delicious.
Yeah, we're going to have a turkey taste test. My turkey versus his turkey.
Oh my gosh.
See who wins.
That's a slippery slope, dear.
I'm confident.
How are you doing on your numbers?
You know what?
What?
The unfortunate reality is that sugar does not help you lose weight.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you knew that.
I may have heard that somewhere.
But this morning I was at 192, and that was with 1 week of not drinking any Juice Land and just focusing on eating more protein in the morning. That's all I did.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So if you must know, my starting weight was 280 something. My current weight is 192. My goal weight is 175-ish. How about you?
250 to start. I am at 211. So I've lost 39 pounds. Oh, I got on the scale. I was like, give me the 40 pounds today. Jeez, it just wasn't gonna happen. I was like 211.4. I was like, you asshole. Oh, stupid scale. Anyways, goal weight. My original goal weight was 150. And I think I'm still going for that. Some of you know, I've had it's been a rough go these last few weeks with this fire that we had, and has caused me a lot of like anxiety and depression. And I'm just generally, I mean, I don't sound like all perky and everything's great, but it's not. I'm not good. So I'm trying to just not pile too many things on my plate and delegate tasks to people that can handle it, that don't have to be me. So
Yeah.
that is proving a lot more difficult than I anticipated, because I'm like, all right, well, I'm working on menu for Thanksgiving. And then I'm thinking, well, I don't really have enough dishes to feed everyone. So I have to buy. So it's not just like getting the food, it's getting all the dishes that I need. And I was like, I'm not doing Thanksgiving because, if it was any other time of the year, I'd be like, y'all are getting Winn-Dixie paper plates and you're going to love it. So, but I'm not doing that this year. So, or for Thanksgiving, if it was a
There's
barbecue,
still
it'd be
a little
different.
fancy in you?
Snitching, just a
Yeah.
a wee bit. So, but I think I'm gonna just like hit up some thrift stores and see if I can find some kind of fun, cool, eclectic stuff for cheap. And then I'll probably just like leave it in so we're gonna have it at the clubhouse at my condo.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll just donate them to the clubhouse, because it's not like, I don't have room in my house for more stuff. Uh, so I'll do that. But it's like serving dishes. And then you got to think, okay, what's going to go in what dish? And okay, do I have enough spoons and enough ladles and enough all the things for all,
Yeah.
I got to get a couple crock pots because we're doing some drinks.
Yeah.
So just all that stuff is like rolling around in my brain. I did have a nice chat with my dad yesterday about the menu, and I was like, okay, I'm thinking of doing this, this, and this, because my husband loves to cook too. But I was like, what do you think we should do for our menu? He's like, I don't know, whatever. He was no help at all. So I was like, okay, got to call dad. So I was like, we should do this and this. I have a really old cookbook from like a Betty Crocker cookbook from 1969. And what I love about it is that there'll be old-fashioned recipes in the 1969 cookbook. I was like,
They call them.
Yeah. Like
They say they're old-fashioned in there.
The title of the recipe. Yes, the title of the recipe is like old-fashioned pumpkin pie. I'm like, how ancient is this recipe? Okay. So I just thought it was cute. So I was going through that, and I found some recipes in there, and then some things my dad recommended. So we put the menu together. So now I got to do like the ingredient list and then do all the shopping. And I got to get like, I'm going to make a Parmesan encrusted walnuts.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a walnut person? Not really. All right.
Could go either way.
Okay. So, but anyway, so I was like, but walnuts I could buy now. They're not going to go bad in whatever time. So I'm trying to like pace myself so that I don't have to do all the shopping all in one day, because if I do that, I will definitely forget something. And
I always build these huge orders online, and I have them in several places. So I'm always checking prices on things that they both have. And, I've gotten I have a spreadsheet. You can have my Thanksgiving spreadsheet if you want.
Send
it's
it to
actually,
me.
I've used it every year, and I update it a little bit every year.
Yeah.
But I kind of gave up doing everything when the kids were really little. I still like hosting, but I don't like being in the kitchen for 36 hours across 3 days.
Well, so what I'm trying to do is like prep stuff. So because the clubhouse has a full kitchen, right? So I can be baking 2 different things at once, because I can be in my oven and that oven. But there's going to be some things that can be done like the day before. Like I'm going to do a Waldorf salad that I could do, right?
Yeah.
So and the pies, I'll bake those probably a couple days before. So that kind of stuff.
I just buy pie.
I make my own pies from scratch. It's a whole thing. Like I do the whole pumpkin. I bake the pumpkins, scrape it all out, do the puree. That I can do now and chuck it in the freezer. And then it's all ready to go, like pre-portioned. So
Well, that
That's
actually sounds like fun if you were doing it now.
so
Mm.
I'll do the I could make the pie filling now and just put it in the freezer
Yeah.
and then just take it out and plunk it in the I'll probably do my pie crust from scratch too cuz yeah, I do.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really not as hard as you think that it would be. But I'm going to try a different apple pie recipe. It's going to be cranberry with apples with cranberry sauce in it, which I'll get my husband to make the cranberry sauce from scratch because he does all that. He's really good with that. So
Good.
So anyways, that's what's going on with me.
We've been really sick over here, but not all at the same time. So
Oh, that's great.
last Friday, was that Friday? Gosh, it feels like. Well, first, my older daughter had the barfing. I think we talked about that. Then the little one had the barfing. Then Dad had the barfing. And then I thought
over
that
there?
I had it. I don't know. On Tuesday, I thought I had it because I could not function. It was like the worst malaise, and it lasted for one day. Maybe it was the election. I don't know.
It could have been. It made me sick. I mean,
Wednesday,
I was a little ill.
I went to bed really early, and I just pretty much ignored it because what can you do at that point anyway?
Nothing.
And I woke up at 4:10 on Wednesday morning, and here's me. I'm looking sideways at the phone.
You're like, I don't.
In the dark. I could see a text from the Deborah.
Oh, God.
With 17 emojis on it.
Right. She's very excited, I'm sure.
Yes. So I knew what happened. That's how I knew what happened.
Yeah, that's hysterical.
And I felt great.
By Deborah did not text me about that.
No, probably not.
She just texted you. It's fine.
She had all kinds of funny stuff for me on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, that's good.
Cracking me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
when we reached the honey badger phase of our life, we're close, but your mom, she does not give a fuck.
No, not even a single one.
No,
she was
none.
way past that. It's pretty great. I mean, I look forward to that. I feel like I'm coming up on it. So
speaking of swear words, because I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to be saying those words. Get this one. On Wednesday, I go to pick up Kari at gymnastics after school. And I walk into they are in the arts and crafts room. And so I walk up behind her, and she's sitting with her friends writing on a piece of paper, and they're coloring and drawing. And I think, oh, what nice handwriting. And then I read the list, and it goes, there's 5 words on her list. The B word, the F word, ass, anus, and something else. Shit.
What? No.
5 swear words is what is on this piece of paper. And I go, what is this? The coaches walk over, and her coach goes, Kari, all of you in the other room now. And she interrogated those girls. I was in there with her. I was just standing there like this. And so Kari is crying her head off. She is so upset. The other 3 girls are like, I didn't do anything. I was just coloring. And Angel's like, yeah, right. So anyway, 15 minutes of interrogating. We're getting later and later and later for where we're supposed to be. And Kari never says a word. I get her in the car, and I'm like, I didn't even know you knew words like that, Kari. She's 7.
Oh, my daughter knows them, to be clear. Yes. She doesn't know how to spell them or write them down or share them with people.
In beautiful handwriting.
Right. No, she doesn't do that, but she will drop a bomb every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I've told her, and I've probably said this before, but the rules are she can say whatever she wants at home. She just can't say any of that stuff at school or near her grandparents.
Well, that's basically what the coach said was, I can't control what you say at home. But you can't say it here. You can't write it here. You can't even think about it here.
Yeah, that's so random.
Yeah.
A 7-year-old knows how to spell anus.
Well, to be fair, that's the one word she spelled wrong.
Oh my God. Wow. So cute. I would be like, well, honey,
ANIS.
ANI.
Mhm.
Okay.
Phonetically,
ANIS. Hey, it's
totally
fine.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So she
That's
cried
so
all the way to
great.
lacrosse. I finally got her to tell me, how did this happen? And one of her other friends was doing it, not the same day, but had been writing, who has an older brother, had been writing bad words on little pieces of paper to make them laugh. And this is just what they do. It's normal
Yeah.
stuff. And so she started doing it that day and they started laughing. And so she was like, oh, I'm funny. Let me write some more dirty words. Right. So when they
So
got
she
caught,
fessed up eventually.
she did. She owned it. She was
That's
honest.
so funny. Be like, all right,
Yeah.
well.
And someone else the next day was like, did you save the paper?
I would have been like, this is going in your baby book. Okay. This
Yeah.
is classic.
I might ask if she saved it at the gym. I might ask the coach, can I have that paper just because it's funny? Yeah, that was the other theme of the week. I mean, that was sort of our one like weird kid thing that happened this week. The other one was they're obsessed with Michael Jackson. And so they've been doing these Michael Jackson, like they put his songs on every night and dance for like an hour in the living room. They ask me in the morning on the way to school, Mom, can you play Beat It? Mom, can you play Billie Jean? Mom, can you play Bad? So Kari and I are reading Who Was Michael Jackson, which is an excellent book.
Really?
Yep, every night. And I learned last night that Michael Jackson, I guess I sort of knew this, bought the entire Beatles catalog for $47 million. And then I think within a few years it was worth, today it's worth $1 billion. He doubled his money very quickly. People told him he was crazy and he shouldn't do it, and he did it anyway. Paul McCartney called him and was like, can we have some of our money back? And he was like, no.
He's like, man, I gotta eat, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah. So we're learning all of our Michael Jackson facts this week, and we've got some good outfits from the Halloween clearance that are working very well for this theme.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's good. And then this is really an audience thing. I just want to say thank you that we've got 100 subscribers on YouTube already.
Ooh.
Somehow
Hundy.
100 people want to hear what we have to say. Which
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Yay. First 100. Woo. That's really cool. I should probably subscribe too, maybe.
Whoa. 101. Like and subscribe if you're listening. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the bell. What is it? Whatever else they say on YouTube.
Yeah. My children, they don't watch a lot of YouTube, but they definitely are hearing the messaging because Ellie was sitting there watching something probably Barbie's having babies, pregnant Barbies or some weird category like that. And she looks at me and she goes, Mom, don't forget to like and subscribe. What?
Nice.
Yeah. The other great thing she said this week in the Michael Jackson was she's watching the Billie Jean video.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember this one where he's dancing on those squares that light up?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, do you remember his shoes? They look like white socks.
Yes.
Yeah. She goes, Mom. Well, actually, we were at lacrosse. She had headphones on. So she's yelling this. You have to imagine this. She's yelling, watching Billie Jean and yelling, Mom, Michael Jackson's wearing socks so his feet don't get cold. She doesn't, she thinks they're socks. She's very logical.
Yeah. That's hysterical.
Yeah, I wrote that one down in my book because it was so funny. It's so cute. She's so cute.
Oh, that's awesome.
How are your ladies?
Good. Oh, yeah. Mom, daughter, neighbor update. Yes. I haven't been over there because I think they're at a extended stay and they're working on finding a permanent, in an apartment. So, but they got a rental car, so they have transportation, and that's pretty much all that I can do. So she really wants to get into the house to start salvaging stuff. The fire marshal said they can't go in until the investigation's been completed. After that, they'll be off to the races. They're going to probably salvage whatever they can out of it. And then we'll work on starting to demo the building and rebuilding it. Meanwhile, I'm still working on filing suit against the insurance company for not giving us enough money for this other fire. So,
this is the worst game
yeah.
where
So
they
I'm like,
don't give you
okay.
the money and then wait and see if you complain
Mhm.
and make you fight for it when all they should really do is just not make it this hard.
Right. So that is that. So it's just, I just have a lot going on. But anyways, I guess I'm done complaining. Thank you for listening. To all of our listeners hearing me bitch and moan about my
Thanksgiving,
first world problems. Appreciate you.
Let's come back to Thanksgiving for a second because last year was my first year being on medication.
Mhm.
And, normally where I would be like, planning for an absolute free for all and just not even thinking twice about overeating.
Oh, yeah.
Not just on the day, but like leading up to it and after it.
Well, you gotta prep.
Yeah.
You can't just go in not warmed up. You gotta prep for that shit. Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This will be interesting because I'm still in the point where I'm like having to force myself to eat. So because I go and I do this thing, I don't know if you've done this, where you just go and you open the refrigerator and you're not hungry, and nothing in there sounds good, but you just open the refrigerator and look inside anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that all the time. I'm like, you're not hungry. And then I'll be like, okay, close the refrigerator door. Then I go open the pantry. And I look in there. There's nothing in there that I want. I'm absolutely not hungry. But it's like, is it like just I'm doing it out of habit because I've just done that for so long where you just are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I do.
I was like, okay, well, I hope that, some of our listeners and excuse me, can relate to that because I'm like, and we have good stuff. I mean, we've got a kid. I got Nilla wafers. I got Cheeto Puffs. I got some good snacks. Okay. And then I find myself, and this is super weird, craving vegetables. And I think that we talked about this before where I was like, I don't want a cookie. I want to like munch on a celery stick. And I don't know if that's because my body's like craving something to like eat and process, but I'm not like hungry. So I was like, well, maybe that's why it wants to just eat something that's like super low calories just to get in the habit of it. Like, or get, I don't, is it, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but like, so I was like, okay, like yesterday for lunch, I had a salad, which I was just like, oh, that salad looks really good.
It's got to be the weirdest thing about the whole thing is that I would have forced myself to eat it before, and now I look at it and it looks absolutely amazing.
Isn't that weird?
And I eat like, salads. Really like I would have never ordered salad for dinner anywhere unless it was an appetizer. Like I got a salad to start.
Right. Like it came with the freaking steak that you and fries or whatever that you ordered and you're like, okay,
but
fine,
like an actual salad for dinner. So I met friends for dinner and someone picked Torchy's tacos and I was just like, I don't even want to go to this if that's where we're eating. Like there is nothing on that menu that I want.
Yeah.
And so, one out for me is sort of like, well, I just won't get anything. I'll just go enjoy my friends because I can do that. I can do that without eating, without even thinking about it now.
Yeah.
But I didn't really eat that day. So I was kind of like, I got to eat something. And I picked a salad. I looked at like all the taco, burrito, quesadilla choices and I was like, eh.
Yeah.
Just gonna get some lettuce.
I was like, it really does work on your brain. It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Well, today, so, one of our former neighbors, lives out in the country and she has a bunch of ducks. So she'll bring me duck eggs. Have you ever had duck eggs?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Um, if you ever do, word to the wise, you can't, you got to cook them on a lower temperature than you would cook chicken eggs. And they cook a lot faster, but the yolks are enormous and they're so good. They just taste so good. And so I had 3 duck eggs scrambled with
Mm.
some like hash brown like potatoes that I chopped up. So and I ate all of it. And I felt like so sick afterwards. It was so much
Oh,
food. Oh my gosh. I was
oh
like, I
no.
really should not have done. I could have probably done like half of the amount of potatoes and like maybe 1 or 2 of the eggs, and I would have been fine. Uh, but and then I have one of the contractors that came around. He's like, "Hey, you want to go get lunch?" And I was like, "What? No." So, but I went with him anyways. And he's like, "Are you sure you don't want anything?" And I was like, give me that." They had like the chocolate peppermint milkshake, and they're like, "Would you like a mini, medium, or large?" Mini, mini. I'll take the small one. And it was so delicious. And I ate like this. I mean, this thing was maybe 12 ounces. So for a milkshake, that's small. And I ate maybe a quarter of it and I threw it in the trash on our way out. I was like, not going to eat the rest of it. That
Yep.
would have never, ever happened before.
Nope.
Absolutely. I would have been like, ate that whole thing, sucked it all down, and I would have ordered like second lunch. While I was there. Yeah. Weird. So weird. I'm like, what was I doing? What was I doing before? Well, you know?
I don't know.
So, yeah. So that's really one of the things that's kind of shocking to me is that my cravings are different, and when I'm in this like, uh, kind of like hyper emotional state where I'm feeling like my depression is increased because I'm stressed or my anxiety is increased. And, you normally get some comfort in your food. Like, I'm like, okay, Cammie, it's okay to eat something that you really like. And then I'm like, okay, let me make myself a cheeseburger or let me make myself or order something from somewhere. And then I eat like 3 bites of it. And I'm like, I don't really want this.
Yeah.
I'm like, ew. Yeah, like I ran through McDonald's and I always order the 2 cheeseburger thing. And I ate 1 cheeseburger and like a couple bites of the second cheeseburger and like maybe half the fries and I threw the rest away. Like I should not have even ordered this much food. Like, you know what I mean? It's I'm still in that like, thinking the volume is still what I used to eat. And most of the time I feel bad because I put too much food on my plate because it's like, I think that I'm reducing my portions, but then I eat it and there's still stuff left over. So, so that's
You're
something I got to
giving me
work
a
on.
memory, a McDonald's memory. Well, 2 of them actually. One was I had a boyfriend in the early 2000s. We lived together for a little while, which was a huge mistake because he was a raging alcoholic.
I did that once.
But he was very critical of what I ate all the time. And so instead of what happens when somebody criticizes what you eat? You eat in secret.
Yep.
And I would run through the drive-thru and get a number 2, which at the time was 2 cheeseburgers, and shovel the whole thing in my mouth between McDonald's and our apartment. And then, like, I did it all the time, probably at least once or twice a week.
Yeah.
The other one is, and I feel like the food was way better back then. We'll eat one of the kids' fries now, and I'm like, this is not good.
It's
even
not as
before
great.
it was.
It isn't. I don't know what it was like. You're totally right. I don't know if it's
I
because
hope President Trump gets them to make the fries in beef tallow again. Now that is a campaign I can get behind.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I kind of wonder, I'm like, so part of it's like, were your taste buds not as mature, so garbage tasted better to you as a kid? Like, or
Maybe.
is like things just, or did the food change, or like what's
No.
really going on here?
I think, I don't have any evidence for this, but I think that over the years, these giant corporations have tried to squeeze every little itty bitty piece of profit out of everything. And so they replace one ingredient. This is Chipotle. This happened at Chipotle, right? Every ingredient eventually got replaced with a cheaper ingredient. So Chipotle
But they
used to
didn't
make
reduce
all
their
their
prices.
food.
They
No,
increased
they
their
did not.
prices. Yep.
They used to make all the food right there in the kitchen, right in front of you, and it was fresh. And now they make it in a central kitchen and they warm it up in the store. And so, like, I used to go to, same thing. I used to go to Chipotle once a week. It was right across from my apartment, and I was obsessed. It was so good when it was new. Do you remember? That
Oh
was
yeah,
kind of a
yeah.
long
I
time
remember it
ago.
being like the greatest thing since sliced bread,
Yeah.
second coming of Christ. Like this was like Chipotle was like where you lived and died. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
No. So I think that's part of it. I also think that they just, the source of the ingredients has changed and the recipes have changed, and it's all just in them chasing profit margin. So I think that's mostly why it's not as good as it used to be. But so here's the other one. My best friend, I hope never listens to this, but one of my very best friends at the time was also pretty overweight, but I never saw her eat anything. And so I would always wonder to myself, like, why are you overweight? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because she's binging at home.
Right? But you never see that. But one day I saw the McDonald's trash on the floor of her passenger seat when I got in the car. And it was shocking, Cammie. It was like 2 or 3 supersized meals. And I remember thinking that however it looked to me was that it had all been eaten at once. And it was an unbelievable amount of food.
Yeah. Yep. Binge eating is a thing. It's totally a thing. Yeah.
Dr. Misra, do you remember my friend Dr. Misra? She's going to come on Monday. I'm going to talk to her and we're going to record.
Nice.
So I will put on my list with her to talk about binge eating some more, because I think that's a really big and important topic and I want to explore it more.
My ADHD medication treats binge eating. Which is not why I get it, because I have the ADHD bad, but it is a medication that doctors will prescribe to people for binge eating, and that's part of the reason that I haven't increased my semaglutide units, because between the Vyvanse and the semaglutide, I don't eat anything ever. So. But I'm not dropping weight as like fast as I thought that I would. So it's still been a slow, decline, which is fine. But that's something that I've never experienced. And I'm sure that I've known people that have done that. But I don't know, like, what that really like looks like in a day-to-day life, in the life of somebody that struggles with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that would be more
interesting. I know
interesting
what it looks like when you don't binge anymore. Like, I throw things out because they go bad.
That is also what I'm doing. I'm like, I need to stop buying food because, all I'm doing is like throwing, like I bought this this little teeny tiny, like, basil and lemon salad from Trader Joe's. It was like a 1 serving little thing. It was, and I thought, and I put it in there. Part of it is I kind of forgot that it was in the fridge. But the other part was that it just, like, I was like, I know that I didn't buy it that long ago, but it was so nasty on the inside. I was like, oh God.
That one, I get that one a lot, and it goes bad faster than it should. And all the food at Trader Joe's, I guess because it's fresher and has less stuff in it, it goes bad really fast. So It's hard to, I overbuy there a lot because I think I'm going to eat it sooner than I will. And then I end up not eating it. I just have to do better over there.
Yeah. So that's another struggle is I'm like, okay, well, I'm buying food and I'm not eating it. It's just going bad. I'm like, I'm just wasting money.
I'm pretty sure they have the candy cane JoJo's by now, which means, so here's all my Binge holiday things that I get at Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
Candy cane JoJo's, chocolate covered candy cane JoJo's, both of them. They're both good.
Mm-hmm.
The Danish Kringle.
What is that?
Oh my God. It's like a pastry, but they bring it in from Wisconsin.
Oh.
And my mom is from that part of the world, from just north of where this Kringle comes from. So it tastes like the stuff that I ate as a kid at my grandma's house.
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to even be able to eat it this year because it's like mostly sugar.
Yeah.
And I won't be able to tolerate it. But I'm still going to buy it and I'm going to try.
You probably could choke down a couple bites. I believe in you.
So those three things. Also, there's a special edition JoJo's that is like in a pentagonal package, they're like stacked vertically, and then there's like 4 special flavors of JoJo's. Gotta get those. I gotta get those.
Get them.
And then I'm done.
No, keep going.
So
there was
much
one more.
No.
No. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go over there this weekend, and I'll let you know how it goes.
All
I
right.
have a meeting that I gotta go to.
Do you? Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's sign off.
Have a good weekend. Have fun with your Thanksgiving planning.
I will.
I'll send you my spreadsheet.
Okay. Send me the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Later.
Love you.
Love you
Bye.
too. Bye.
Follow us on Instagram at Less of You Podcast. Are you confronting the same challenges and have a story to tell? I'd love to hear your story on our Skinny Shot Stories podcast. Contact me for more details at skinnyshotstories.com. If you're a doctor and would like to learn more about sponsoring this or any of our cosmetic surgery and weight loss podcasts, go to lessofyou.com. Less of You is a production of The Axis, TAGAXIS.io.